Appreciate you all giving me a chance to be here. For 6 minutes, I need you to begin with for one thing. If you don't have a child of your own or a grandchild, I need you to think about a child that's in school somewhere today. So if we're gathered around right here, there's kids somewhere. Now I want you to imagine the child you're thinking about is literally in a, let's just assume they're in a cafeteria. Because, you know, hey, we just got coffee and you got cookies and it's all good. So they're with a teacher and they're in a cafeteria, but somewhere else, because all too often this does happen somewhere in our state and always in our world, somewhere else in that same building, there is another teacher that looks across the campus. I know it's horrible to think about, but, you know, this is the problem that we haven't had a solution for. Another teacher somewhere else sees danger approaching. And the problem is this. They're going to call 911, right? Do you know how long they're going to be on the phone with 911? 5 to 6 minutes. That's the short time. That is no joke. They're trying to understand, are you looking north? Are you looking south? Where are you? How many people are they? Or they're trying to get instructions. They keep you on the phone. In the meantime, your child with their teacher in the cafeteria, even if they're able to set an alarm and say, hey, there's a problem, they don't know where to go. You only make good decisions based upon what you know and where you are. Over and over again, we see people run right out into trouble. One of the things I hate about putting buttons in a classroom is if I happen to be in the second floor or somewhere and I saw a perpetrator and I press the button, it actually tells the person the problem's in that room and somebody else in another part runs right out into the problem. So I've spent the last several years of my life in the government family. I've worked for some folks that work for the president over at Fort Bragg. And our solution was to come up with a situational awareness app that would allow a teacher, any teacher, to go through and say, hey, I need to log in. It doesn't run their battery down. And it's designated or encapsulated to their school. And when they log in, they could say, oh, wait, time out. The truth is, most of the time this gets used to say, and you go to our website, you see, we just had a medical problem. A kid, you know, really, I had a second grade teacher that the kid was running and he fell and the kid behind him tried to jump over him and the foot hit the neck right there and the teacher heard it. And they couldn't run to get help. They hadn't even been trained. This was at High Falls Elementary School. But she said, hey, I remember there's a medical thing. So she actually pressed the medical one. And it didn't just save seconds, it saved minutes in getting them to the right place because she was sending a second grader to try to go and get help. But in our case, we saw an active shooter coming across the campus and we said it right there in the front office. Ken, as another teacher, his just went off. I need to kill my sound. My bad. That's not going to do good. That's what's playing in the front office at the same token. But it sends it out. We were approved by Apple for what's called critical entitlements. So even if your phone is not, it physically is on, but it's turned off, it's the same as presidential alerts, Amber alerts. Your child's teacher, whether they're on the playground, in the cafeteria, the notice goes out, it reaches them. It says, hey, somebody, because the decision maker is you, is telling you from your family, you need to be aware of this situation. Either avoid the threat or come help us. If it's medical, if it's a fight. I mean, the main way this gets used in 4A schools, like at Pinecrest is weekly, it saves as much as a minute in getting the assistant principal of the SRO there. If those two kids don't have to get expelled, that's a major win not only for the school, but for the kids. Our setup is designed really to hopefully try to reach a district. We're in all of Moore County. We're going into Harnett right now. We've actually implemented there, and I was in Greene County yesterday. But we go in, there's a $500 setup fee one time to get the GIS set up for all the campuses, and then it's $36 a year for your child's teacher. It's recurring. I'm working on my master's up at Clarkson in Potsdam, New York, and advising group, we try to say, hey, what do we got to do so that we can support this, but that we can really get it out as a help to the schools. So the model's like that, and it's free to all first responders. It has true reverse 911. True. So if the bank gets robbed, And in the community where you are, there's high-speed chase. That sheriff's department or 911 center can literally send the alert back, and every teacher at that school, their phone goes off, and it says the sheriff's department's telling you, get the kids, go inside, lock the doors, go on to school as usual. And so we're in about several 911 centers and police stations going through. We're currently serving 62 schools. That number is actually a little higher now, 4,000 teachers, 3 911 centers, police station. We were in our very first schools March of last year, so we're not even a year old. We'll be a year old in 2 weeks from our first subscription models. We actually were in our first schools in November. There's some big players in this industry. Cisco has Quick Alert. Ray's been around 15 years in Form 911. Punch Alert's actually kind of out of this area, but they all just use SMS messages. None of them allow you to identify a problem somewhere else. That's one of the huge differentiators. We have several other ones, but my time is out. This is sort of our team we have together. I have Ken with me right there. Most of them came out of the military where I was that are working with us on that. And some of the things we're looking for is, hey, we're going to our first round of funding. We're trying to figure out how to pitch this. So I'm looking for weaknesses in how I pitch, what I present. Obviously, 6 minutes I can't show everything, and helping connecting.
Great presentation.
And also, calls 911, which I won't do because